So one of the most common questions I get asked as a sneaker content creator is, what is the most comfortable sneaker to wear every day? Now comfort, it's not a one size fits all thing. Comfort means something different to everybody. You might really like a snug fitting shoe, you might like really soft cushioning, or you might not. Well, in this video, I'm gonna be giving you 10 great everyday sneaker options that are very comfortable. I've tried them on myself. I'll tell you how they feel, how they fit, and how much they cost, and hopefully you can decide for yourself which is the best option for you. So let's get into the first shoe. Now I have to start off with what in my opinion is the most comfortable Nike sneaker you can buy, and that is the Zoom Vomero 5. If you've been following my channel, I've been talking about this shoe for years, even before they became popular again. It is currently the best selling sneaker for Nike. They retail for a slightly more expensive price of $160 to $170 depending on the colorway. The one I'm showing here is the very popular Supersonic colorway, which is definitely one of my favorite pairs they've ever made. It's just a perfect everyday sneaker. Now when it comes to sizing, some of the pairs release as women's exclusive pairs, even though they do come in men's sizes as well, while other pairs get released in universal sizing. And in my experience, the specific women's colorways, they do fit a bit narrower than the men's pairs. So I would suggest if you get a women's colorway like the Oatmeal pair or even the Photon Dust, then do go up half a size in those, of course, if you are a man. But if you get some of the regular pairs, like for example the Supersonic, then you can go with your true size and they fit fine, they fit perfect. In fact, these shoes look great no matter what outfit you're wearing. I think the Zoom Vomero 5 is pretty much the most perfect Nike sneaker right now. Now, if the Vomero 5 is slightly out of your budget, well, I have another great option for you. Make sure you check out the P6000, which I would say is kind of like the Vomero's little brother. They are both 2000s era running shoes that are quite popular again. Comfort-wise, it's not all that much different, although I would give the slight edge to the Vomeros. But price-wise, there is quite a big difference. So the P6000s retail for just $120, and just like the Vomeros, they come in so many very nice colorways. And when it comes to sizing, for me this shoe is just a great wide foot friendly shoe. So even if you have wide feet, I feel like you can go true to size in these, stick with your true Nike size. As I was saying, the comfort is not a huge difference, but you can save a few bucks by getting the P6000 instead of the Vomeros. Sticking with Nike, we keep going lower and lower in price, and now we're going even lower. Let's talk about the Nike Initiator. This shoe in fact retails for only $80, and for that price you're not gonna find a more comfortable Nike shoe. Nike has really been bringing back all their sneakers from the early 2000s, and similar to the other two options I mentioned, these do have a mesh upper with some synthetic leather overlays. Some other pairs even have some suede on them, and while some of the colorways are kind of out there, I would say there's definitely some very clean colorways as well, like this pair right here. I will try to leave links to all the shoes I talk about in the description of this video. In terms of comfort, for me it's pretty much the same level of comfort as the P6000s, and same with the sizing. I got these in my true size. There's just the perfect amount of space in the toe area, and I believe even if you have wider feet you can stick with your true size in this pair. Now the next sneaker on this list is from Adidas, and it's definitely the newest shoe that I'm going to be talking about in this video. These actually just released. This is the Adidas Aruku. I had to include these on the list because I was pretty much blown away by how comfortable they are. Now especially if you're someone who likes that softer feeling cushioning, this is very soft. It features Adidas's swirl foam technology, and for this price it's actually quite difficult to find cushioning this soft. The retail price on this is $140, or in Europe 130 euros. This swirl foam technology infuses nitrogen into the foam, and it has this very curved midsole, which actually might feel a bit unstable in the beginning, but you start to like it after a while. They are very lightweight as well, and they do fit me perfectly at true to size. The pair I have in my hand right here is of course a very loud pair. I wouldn't necessarily call this an everyday sneaker. And just in case you're wondering what does Aruku mean, well, in Japanese it actually means to walk. So you already knew these were going to be comfortable. The next shoe I absolutely had to put on this list is the New Balance 9060, because I have to admit I was wrong about this shoe. I thought this shoe would just come and go, but it turned out to be one of the most popular sneakers that New Balance have ever made, and the reason for that is because people swear by how comfortable these are. In fact, I think out of all the shoes I talk about in this video, I don't think I see a shoe worn outside more than these right here, the 9060s. They are literally everywhere. Now these are definitely on the bulkier side, so it's not for everyone. There are, however, infinite number of colorway options. I'm sure there's one that you would like. They are one of the more expensive shoes on the list though, especially if you live in Europe where these retail for 190 euros. However, they are much cheaper in the United States where they retail for $150. And in terms of sizing, for me, I go true to size on this pair as well, and they fit perfect. I know a lot of people like to go a half size down in New Balances, but I don't necessarily think that applies in this case for this shoe. I think going with your true size, even though it looks kind of bulky, true to size for me definitely fits best. Now I couldn't possibly make this video without talking about the shoe that I personally wear the most, and that has to be the New Balance 990 V6. Even though, of course, being a sneaker YouTuber, I own a lot of shoes, this is the one that I just keep going back to every day because once I wore these, I really didn't want to wear anything else. The comfort on this is really good, and it's a significant upgrade in my opinion when compared to the 990 V4s or the V5s. New Balance does have some other models as well that are extremely comfortable, like the 1080s. However, I of course wanted to recommend shoes that I feel look great as well and that you can wear every day. And for me, the 990 V6 really wins out, especially if you consider some of the very everyday, easy to wear colorways like the recently released Reflection Pack, which also came with this Marblehead colorway. And when it comes to sizing, so I think if you have pretty narrow feet, you can go half a size down in these than your true size. But if you have wide feet or slightly wide feet like I do, I think going with your true size is the best option. This is another one of those pairs where I would actually wait for them to go on sale, especially if you live in Europe. The retail price is very high on these at 250 euros. But I definitely think, considering the build quality of these shoes, and they are very comfy, I do think they are worth the price. Now when it comes to value for money, look no further than the ASICS GEL-1130. These actually start off retailing at $95. Some of them go for $100, and at that price point, there simply isn't a more comfortable option. I actually own several pairs of these, and they are some of my go-to sneakers for everyday wear. These are actually especially good if you have wide feet. I would say out of all the shoes mentioned in this video, these are probably the most wide foot friendly. For me, true to size fits the best on this sneaker. While there are some more expensive ASICS options available with some better build quality, I personally find these shoes, the 1130s, to actually be the most comfortable. The cushioning is quite soft and responsive. Trust me, you won't regret spending $100 on these. I could literally make this video just giving you only ASICS sneakers. That's how comfortable everything is from that brand, and this next shoe right here is no exception. This is the ASICS GEL-NYC. It is a relatively newer model from ASICS, but some would argue it's maybe their best looking model. It does seem like ASICS really likes to experiment with the different colorways on this model, so I'm sure you will find something that's right for you. There are also some very nice collabs on this model, like the one I'm wearing right here, which is the Hidden New York collab. The retail price on these is slightly higher than the GEL-1130, so they start from $130 and they go up to around $150. And when it comes to sizing, my feet do measure as slightly wide, and for that reason I like to go a half size up in the GEL-NYCs than my true size. I think if you have narrow feet, you can go with your true size. Just to give you a frame of reference, I go with my true size in most Nike sneakers except for the Air Force One, where I go a half size down. I also go true to size in almost every single New Balance sneaker. With the GEL-NYCs, however, I do find them a bit narrow for me, so I go half a size up. And for the next sneaker on this list, now when you actually think of ASICS, this is probably the shoe you think of. This is the GEL-Kayano 14. I would even call it the default ASICS model. In terms of looks, it's very easy to wear and it gives you that retro runner look. It is the priciest though, retailing between $160 to $180 in most colorways. Typically when it comes to ASICS, the price of the models depends on the level of tech in their shoes. Both the GEL-NYC and the Kayano 14s, I would say the cushioning on them is a bit more firm than the GEL-1130s. The classic cream and black colorway is quite tough to come by. It pretty much sells out every time it restocks. But to be honest, there are so many almost identical looking colorways of this shoe that you can easily go for any of these alternatives. And when it comes to sizing, they fit me just like the GEL-NYC, so I go a half size up also in the GEL-Kayano 14s. And finally, we can't have a video talking about comfy shoes without mentioning this brand, and that is of course Hoka. And the model right here is the Clifton 9. This is my personal pair. As you can see, maybe you can't really see because of the lighting, but it is quite beat up, it's quite dirty, and that's because it is my primary running shoe, and it is the best shoe in my opinion on this list if you're looking for a shoe that you can wear every day for just lifestyle purposes, but you also want to be able to run in them. Shout out to all the runners out there. This shoe I think allows you to do both, and because they were primarily made for running, you can just imagine how lightweight this shoe is. It does have a very thick midsole, but it doesn't add any weight to the shoe. This is a super lightweight shoe. They do retail for $150, and actually the Clifton 9 does come in some other lifestyle versions which are made out of more durable materials like leather and suede, but they do retail for a higher price point. And for sizing, I go with, once again, my true size in these, and they fit me just perfect. And there you have it, lots of different brands mentioned in this video, and I will try to leave links to most of the shoes I've talked about in this video in the description. Do let me know in the comments if there's any shoes that I might have missed out on that are some of your favorite everyday sneakers. And thank you so much for watching my videos and for supporting this channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.